right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today, Monday, August the 17th, 2026. So it looks like the war is back on and popping. Give Wall Street a reason to panic. So, pre-market, we are seeing a bit of a sell-off here. Which is quite expected. So as we see here, I've marked out some levels here. You have to excuse some of the markups. I have quite a few on here. We'll get rid of some of them. So we have our 8 a.m. highs, of course, and our 8 a.m. lows. So far, we haven't swept either one. We created a bearish 15-minute fair value gap on the way down. We inverted the 1 hour bullish fair value gap on the way down. And we kind of paused here at this 15-minute FEG. We have our Asia lows. We have our new week opening gap, which was Friday's close, and the open on Sunday. I'll still mark out the open when we open this morning at 9:30 to see what we have there. But as of now, what we're looking for is possibly at the open a continuation to the downside. We seem to be rejecting this 15-minute fair value gap, although we did body above the consummate encroachment of that 15-minute fair value gap. At the open, we may be looking at a possible sweep of the lows here at the 8 a.m. lows, targeting Asia and a close of this new week opening gap. And then I've also marked down this golden zone here. So this is the golden zone that I marked out for a possible reversal area. So going from the swing low to the swing high, we have our Fibonacci area, the 079 and the 062. This would be our golden zone here for possible retracement. So we'd go up here, see the pullback into this zone, which lines up perfectly after a sweep of these 8 a.m. lows, hit of the key levels. We have a PD array here, 15-minute, but we tap this golden zone, then look for possible reversals into this area. So also, if we look at take our range tool here, it's also our point of control is where a lot of action happened around here. So we could see it down here, possible somewhere into this area, then a reversal to the upside. So it tentatively lines up on all aspects to take a long once we hit this area. However, that reversal, looking at price and the way that it's moving, we may not see that reversal on the AM session. So I've also have a if-then scenario with possible short play. So if, give me 1 second here. So if hold on, let's see, give me 1 second here. 1 second. Okay. So if we get a sweep of these lows at the open, then we see a push to the upside, I'd be looking for some type of rejection on a higher time frame PD array, such as a 15-minute gap. If we don't break above this 15-minute gap or body above it, which it looks like we may be doing, I'd be looking for some type of rejection off of the 15-minute PD array or a 1 hour. I don't know if we have any higher time frames. We got this inversion, so we haven't swept these lows yet, so we may even be looking at a retest of this 1 hour inversion. And then having not yet hit those 8 a.m. highs, if we reject off this 1 hour inversion, I'd go to the lower time frames and then start to look for some type of inversion on maybe the 1 minute, targeting these lows and Asia low and the close of the gap. However, if we see a pop up and we get our 8 a.m. highs swept along with a higher time frame key level, then possibly we would be looking for some type of lower time frame indication of a play to the downside. Indication being, an inversion of those 1 minute or 5 minute FEGs. So we have a few scenarios to play out here. Got about 2.5 minutes left before the close of this 15-minute candle. Got about 3 minutes left before the open. Well, it's the same. So once this candle closes, this new 15-minute candle will be our 9:30 open, which we're right at a little bit less than 3 minutes here. So it looks like we're getting some push to the upside pre-market, maybe heading for this 1 hour. Again, if we don't body above this 15-minute, we could see a push to the downside at the open, which would give us our sweep. And then if we hit our key levels, Asia, maybe even the close of that new week opening gap, then we'd be looking for our reversal to the upside, which would be our high probability play. So we'll just wait here. We'll see what it does at the open. We'll be patient, and no doubt we'll get a good trade here. Our setup will come to us, and we'll get a nice good opening week trade. So hope everyone's weekend was good. We had a pretty good weekend. Did a little bit of shopping. Got a few new outfits, for church. That's my Saturday. I like to go to Target, and see what the new line is, and get a little something for church. I don't want them seeing me in the same thing every week, so Target's a pretty good place for that. And it's a better experience than Walmart. For me, it's the floors. The floors are shiny. The parking lot's a little bit bigger. Walmart, it just feels like, I don't know. Nothing against Walmart. Love Walmart for back to school shopping, cosmetics. But as far as the experience, Target's the way to go for me. So just about a half a minute here before the open. And we're at the open. Looks like we're getting a strong push to the upside there. A strong push to the upside. We just crossed our New York midnight open. We got a nice upper wick there on that 15-minute. So ES already closed its new week opening gap. It's playing above a 15-minute bearish fair value gap there. It's inside of a bullish 15-minute fair value gap. So it looks like we may head to the upside and sweep these highs. So we're looking for a sweep of maybe these 8 a.m. highs. NQ is kind of slowing up right there at that 1 hour inversion, which is to be expected. That's a key area. You see here we have those wicks there until it finally broke through. Now we're coming up to retest that area. We could very well just see a big top wick here on the 15-minute. So what we will do here is I'm gonna go here to our 5-minute. Let's see where we are here. So we have a 5-minute bearish fair value gap here. We're inside of this 5-minute FEG here. So we may body above this 5-minute FEG, which will indicate it's going to the upside, which is one of our strategy plays here, a sweep of the highs. But as of now, it looks like we got a nice manipulation leg to the upside. We have not broken this 5-minute FEG here. We did wick above, kind of trapping in a lot of these longs. So it looks like we may go down and sweep these lows, hit these 8 a.m. lows, which would be good. Tap into our new week opening gap. Maybe even sweep this key level here. Right now it looks like the market's trying to manipulate and trap some buyers, some early buyers. So as of now, that's what I'm kind of looking for here. We're going to stay within our strategy, which is a sweep of either these lows, 8 a.m. lows, or the 8 a.m. highs. A sweep of a key level, which to the upside would be London high. We do have higher time frame PD. We do have a 5-minute PD array here. We have I believe we also have a 15-minute as well. So a sweep of these highs and into this 15-minute and a rejection would give us the green light to start looking for some low, some shorts to the downside on our lower time frame levels. We go down to the 1 minute, start looking for some inversions. Right now we see a lot of indecision here on this 15-minute candle. Big wick to the upside, a rejection off of that 1 hour inversion, which was in our pre-market analysis. We knew that price had inverted this 1 hour fair value gap pre-market, came back up, retested that area and rejected. So now what we're looking for is a sweep of these lows. I'm not jumping into a short just yet because the higher probability would be a sweep of these lows, targeting this new week opening gap, hitting these higher time frame PD array. We have a 1 hour here. We have Asia lows here. So these are good targets. I could see some scalpers going in and scalping into these targets. These are draws on liquidity here in the drawdown, but you see how price is up and down, up and down. For me, it's just not a high probability trade. We could still be seeing some manipulation to the upside, tapping out those early sellers, and then before going down and hitting those lows. So if you got into some sells, where would you put your stop loss? You'd go to the lower time frames, maybe look for here. That's a big, it's a big stop loss there. It's still going up above this FEG and coming back down. So for me, it's playing up and down, up and down. I really don't like that type of price action. So I'm waiting for a sweep of either these 8 a.m. lows or 8 a.m. highs. Right now, it's probably looking like we're going to sweep the lows first, but right now it's not too easy to tell. So we're going to be a little bit patient here and see what it wants to do for us. That 15-minute candle, very indecisive. Also on the ES, so we have sort of a SMT, a bullish SMT, which is good, where ES swept these lows. It swept the 8 a.m. low, prior day low, got into a value area low on the 1 minute. So even if we got down into the 5 minute, start to look for some inversions here. So even on ES, we have kind of have a 1 minute fair value gap here. That would be our first presented fair value gap. That's our first presented fair value gap on ES. So being as though we got a bullish SMT there, and you see how ES is still pushing to the downside. So that's why we look for that inversion. We want to see a change in state of delivery, a break of these highs before getting into a long, even on ES if we decide to take it. The higher probability on NQ would being as though we got a bullish SMT between NQ and ES. If NQ would just sweep these 8 a.m. lows and maybe tap into this 15-minute consummate encroachment, or even better, Asia lows, which would be almost almost half of the new week opening gap, that would give me a higher confirmation to get into some longs. And that's what we're looking at now. So I'm looking at the higher probability long here. So as we swept 8 a.m. lows here on NQ, now we are into our 15-minute fair value gap. I'm going to shoot down to this 1 minute. So we have, let's see, we got our 5 minute there, which was a nice area of price. So we could just wait for price to invert that 5 minute. I'm gonna go down to the 1 minute and see what we got here. We have a 1 minute FEG inside of this 5 minute, which is good. So we have a 1 minute here as well. Boom. That would be our first presented fair value gap. A small first presented, but nevertheless it's there. So I still want to see NQ sweep this key level, being Asia. Even though we did tap into that 15-minute FEG there, we kind of pre-market already tapped into it around like 8:30. So we tapped into it, wick below consummate encroachment. It's stopping just above Asia. So it's trying to trap those early buyers, getting in. So no doubt, I believe it'll come down, sweep Asia low, filling just a little bit more of this new week opening gap, and then we'll start to look into getting into some longs. For me, that's the higher probability trade, unless we leave Asia open and then invert this 5 minute, come back, retest, then I'd be getting into some longs. But if we don't invert this 5 minute first, I need price to sweep Asia first. So we have a 1 minute FEG here. So as we start to maybe invert this 1 minute, let's see. Let's see if it's actually going to leave that Asia. It may just be enough to, oh, there we go. So it looks like we're going to invert that first 1 minute fair value gap. Let's see if we're going to retest that. But if we invert this first presented fair value gap, I think we'll try to jab. We're going to try to jab that long there. I'm going to take a stab at it. So we're coming back down to retest that 1 minute that we inverted. We didn't sweep Asia. We got pretty good into the NWOG. I want to see price invert this 1 minute fair value gap here. About 7 seconds left. So we got, there we go. So we're getting kind of a pullback. We got a small inversion of that 1 minute fair value gap. So I kind of pulled us back into that area here. So again, that's why I'd like to see a sweep of Asia low. Why not sweep it? But it kind of left us open there. Okay, we see price kind of rejecting off of that 1 minute FEG there. So what we really want to see is, we see these upper wicks here. If we can get an inversion on this 5 minute, that would be a good. That's the long we'd be looking for there. But being as though we didn't sweep Asia, price is kind of hanging out. So it looks like it's starting to build up some low resistance liquidity there on with this trend line here. So as it starts to build up, reject, that's that low resistance liquidity. So when it finally does break up, we'll see those shorts that got into shorts. Once they start to see that price is going in the opposite direction, they'll be forced to buy, which would then give us that push to the upside that we're looking for. So as these early short sellers, so we probably got a few shorts that came in here. Every time you see these wicks here, you probably see some stop losses here, people that went short. As they see price starts to reverse, you'll see them start to if they're selling, they have to buy to get out their position. So as they buy, price is starting to push up. I thought I put a limit order there, a stop order there, but sometimes TradingView don't want to play fair with me. So there we go. So as of now, we did sweep our 8 a.m. lows. We left Asia. We tapped into our new week opening gap, which could be significant enough to drive price higher. We created this low resistance liquidity area here. We are still below VWAP. Once we get above VWAP, okay, so we are above our 20 moving average and our 8 moving average. I'd like to see a break above VWAP and finally our 200 moving average. So it tapped us in here on our trade here, so we could get tapped in. So I'd like to see a break of structure here. That would be awesome. We kind of front run this a little bit, simply because it didn't hit Asia, which I would have liked it to see. But it's not as the highest probability trade. It's not an A+ setup, but nevertheless, it's a good probability there as we broke this trend line here, coming back to retest it. we want to see some rejection. There, we did inverse our 1 minute first presented fair value gap. I want to see us inverse our 5 minute. We kind of did here, inverse this 5 minute fair value gap, which it tapped us in. So now I want to see some push to the upside. It kind of pulled back a little bit there to retest that area, then a push to the upside, which is good. So we are moving up. I got kind of a nice target there for those equal highs. Let me just pull it back there to London for drawing liquidity. Or let's just keep it here. We're going to keep it there for our 8 AM highs. That's where we're looking at for our 8 AM highs. Here's our trade. So we have our trade here on our Lucid account here. So currently doing pretty well on this trade here, up here. I put our TP at those 8 AM highs. So we got a small rejection there at our 200 simple moving average. So let's see if we can, after this retest, if we can get a push above. I want to see a push. We're into that 950 macro. Let's see if we can get our delivery to the upside there. Starting to see a higher push there to the upside. As soon as we break this structure here, I'll drag our stop loss.
Order filled.
So our longs are valid. It's to my discretion to jump in and out here, but we're going to hold it on our trading view account there.
Order filled.
So we want to see a push, a continuation to the upside here. We did sweep those lows. We are getting some, we got a nice 1 minute inversion of our first presented fair value gap. Looking at the 5 minute here, we got an inversion of the 5 minute, starting to look to some more push to the upside as we we're 5 minutes into this 950 macro. I like to see a breaker structure here to give us a little bit more confirmation to the upside. Again, we left those that Asia low open, which I didn't like. Nevertheless, we are getting that push to the upside. So let's see what price does. Let's see if we can get at least to those 8 a.m. highs during this 9:50 macro delivery, and then we could see you could see a further pullback or continuation to the upside. So we're looking to see if we can get the market to give us that push we need to the upside as we approach this new 1 hour opening candle. We've got about 3 minutes left to that new 1 hour. I at least want to see if we can get a break of structure before we hit that 1 hour, because if we do continue to the upside, we may see price try to give us that lower wick on that 1 hour candle. I want to see a nice body above that red line there, that 200 simple moving average. We did get a nice body above there, which was a nice indication where price wants to go. Then we started to see a little rejection here after we swept this little area of liquidity here. So let's see if we can't get up in here and get a break of structure. That would give us a nice indication that price wants to continue to the upside. You can see ES is really weak. It's kind of holding price up on NQ. Got about 30 seconds left to this new 1 hour candle. We're pushing up on this 1 hour. If we can open above on this next 1 hour candle here, you can see a little push below. Already created a small lower wick on that 1 hour. So if we can get that little lower wick on that 1 hour, then a push above and a break of that, a break above this 1 hour inversion, that would give us nice confirmation to the upside. All right, so that's what we're looking for here. So let's see if we can get our delivery to the upside at the end of this macro time frame. So we're currently in longs, looking for a delivery to those 8 a.m. highs after a sweep of the lows. It left Asia open. Didn't really like that, but we took our long trade anyway. Hopefully it'll play out into our favor. We're getting a significant pullback there at the beginning of this 1 hour. So we are getting a little chop here. In these type of markets, you have to be somewhat confident in your strategy, and even more confident in your plan to execute your strategy. This price really isn't at these points in time. You're looking at the charts and it's not reacting the way that it typically should react according to your analysis. And that could scare you out of a lot of trades or prevent you from taking trades. And there's nothing wrong with not taking a trade, but you don't want to second guess yourself. You don't want to second guess your strategy. You don't want to second guess your plan, because the market depends on that, and that's how it shakes traders out of their trades. So we are looking like it's starting to push lower. So if it taps us out here, that's not. We kind of probably look for another position to get out there and look for another position. So we have our stop loss set there. So we're just kind of playing the chop here. If price is going to move up, we kind of want to see it start to move now. So we got about 5 minutes left until the end of this 10-10 mark. We kind of want to start to see price, if it's going to go to the upside and deliver, we want to see it starting to make some moves now. Want to start to see some break of structure to the upside. ES is really weak. It's kind of holding up any progress for NQ to the upside, not being in alignment. So NQ kind of wants to push. ES is just kind of in like a free fall, but we are getting some resistance below the prior day low on ES. You see those bottom wicks there. You see those bottom wicks there on the 5 minutes. So hopefully we can hold price up there and get us some movement back to the upside. So again, we may see price to the upside. Will it happen on this AM session? So, and we may see a retracement back down into the new week opening gap. So it closes out there on that trade. So it got a retracement back into the new week opening gap. I'm confident we will hit these highs. It's just a matter of timing and what the market wants to do. So we got a sweep of these lows here, that liquidity sweep, and then an immediate push to the upside. Will it be enough to take us to those 8 a.m. highs? We'll have to see there. We are about 30 seconds left into the end of that 10-10 macro, so if it does, it's going to do it now. Starting to see some volume there. Want to see a little bit more volume and speed going to the upside. So we're at that 10-10. So if it's going to go to the upside, we need to push now. We need to push as we're getting more volume, more speed. We're seeing some speed. I'm not seeing the volume come in like I'd like to see. I'd like to see the volume spike a little bit higher. So it's starting to push up, So I'd like to see, so if we go down here on the 1 minute, I want to see some break of structure to this upside. I want to see some break of highs. We broke this high here, good, okay. I want to see a break above VWAP and break this high here. Then I want to see it start to break some highs. I want to see a break here. We're back at that area where price likes to be at that 5 minute FEG. We get some speed above that area. We break that area with speed and start to break some of these highs, getting that low resistance liquidity. See, as we came down here and retest this trend line, being as though we didn't break back below that trend line didn't really invalidate our longs. we came down and swept this area of liquidity. Then we seen an immediate rejection to the upside, started to break this interior low, this interior high. I want to see a high above VWAP, and then we get a break and close above New York Open. That's where it starts to get a little bit more confidence in continuation to the upside. So we're out of that 10-10 macro. I'd like to see the distribution to the upside here. So we'll jump into that long here. So let's break above this area here with some speed and force and start to break these highs. And we're starting to break above that area of interest there where we had our first presented fair value gap on the 1 minute. We also have a 5-minute FEG here where we got a lot of reaction. So if we start to see some force, some breaks, and body closures above that area, we start to look good. It did tag us in on my buy stop there. I like to see a break of structure. Because I'm just going for the 8 a.m. highs, I didn't wait for that break of structure before I got in. We did get a break here. So we're just going to be patient and see if we can't get our distribution to the upside after that 10-10 manipulation leg to the downside there. So this prior 15-minute candle, we had a nice wick here. So we want to see it's, as we pull back here on this 15-minute candle, set up a nice wick. You know, so we get our open low and then close to the upside. So typically what we're looking at is maybe a pull back into constant encroachment of this wick, which here. So we could see that before we see a continuation to the upside there. So we did take out Asia on that last prior candle there, but as it is, we did get our inversion here, which we should have got our entry here technically. So here's our 1 minute. Well, this is to the upside. There, boom. So honestly, what we're looking for is that inversion here. I'm gonna get rid of this here. So after that Asia sweep, we went up, and there wasn't really any FEGs to inverse on the way down there before we swept Asia. So we came up, then we came back down. So we have this FEG here on the 1 minute that we can inverse, but as of now we're below constant encroachment of that prior candle wick. Just don't see how much more of a retracement price wants to give us before going to the upside. So it looks like we came back down and retest Asia again. this is trading. So if it stops us out again, we probably won't take any more trades on the day on this one. So all we can do now is just wait and see what the market wants to do. It gave us all of our indications that we should be into our longs here. We swept these lows. We got into our new week opening gap. We swept Asia. We didn't fill the gap completely, which in this case we could wait for a complete fill of the gap before going into any longs. If it wants to fill, I mean, that's another story. Does it have to? Absolutely not. But we did just get a sweep of these equal lows, of a lot of relative equal lows. Filled the gap. Will that take us to the upside? Let's see, we got a nice rejection there. So those are big buyers buying into these sells. So let's see if we can get those big buyers pushing us up, even though we did get wicked out there. I still just want to see price push us to the upside. Looking at, we're getting a lot of resistance right at these 8 a.m. lows. Whereas before we had a lot of buyers here at this same area. So if we break above this area here, some nice body closures. We could see potential strong moves to the upside. Then again, the way price has been acting today, a lot of chop here today, a lot of chop. Usually what we'd like to see is, you know, when we get that break. So we're here. When we get that sweep of that 8 a.m. low, we left Asia open there. Didn't go there. So even when we came down here and swept Asia, it went up, a nice push up, but then we come right back down. Created these equal lows here, swept those equal lows. Now, are we going to break these highs here? That's what we're looking for. So the 4-hour candles, we're quite bearish on this 4-hour. We did on this prior 4-hour candle create this big wick here. We came and kind of filled into this wick, so it wouldn't be out of pocket to see if we can get another wick on this 4-hour candle, being as though we just opened into this. We're only 30 minutes into this candle. Maybe we could create another bottom wick on this 4-hour and get us into these 8 a.m. highs, where we would be getting into this area of resistance on that prior 4-hour candle. So right now we're seeing a little bit of consolidation here. So when we see price building up for these longs after a sweep of these equal lows, I'd like to see us push up higher, break above this constant encroachment of that prior 15-minute candle wick. So I marked out this wick, this 15-minute wick here, and this was constant encroachment of that wick. To body above that would be a good indication that we're going to continue higher. We see a lot of buying pressure here. These are institutional buyers pushing price up. So it gets there, it's absorbing these sales, absorbing those shorts, and buying back up into it. And as those short sales get in, they'd have to buy to close their position. So as they buy to close their position, that pushes price up, as long as with the market makers who are buying those going short, they're buying into those short, absorbing that pressure, absorbing those sells, which is pushing the market up. So once we get those sellers getting their not being rewarded for their plays, but being absorbed here, and then we get the buyers going in. We get some buyers going in, and we see a rejection here. It's just, typical buyers and sellers struggling for position. But from what we can see here, we have some strong buyers defending these positions, absorbing these sales, wanting to drive price higher. This was our prior 15-minute candle. We closed above consummate encroachment. of this wick that we marked out. So what I'll do now is let's mark out this wick here. Let me get rid of some of this so we can see. We can see what's going on here. Get rid of this here. So we have our New York Open, our ADM lows, and we have constant encroachment of this wick here that we've marked out. That's this line here. We're well above that constant encroachment area there, and starting to push up as we see these strong institutional smart money buyers absorbing those shorts and pushing price higher to the upside, all the time creating low resistance liquidity with this trend line here. So as we break above this trend line and start to grab those shorts, those are stop losses here. We grab those, that's liquidity, all the way up even to there, those London highs. So is smart money building a long position here, building a long position by absorbing these shorts to come up here and then grab these stop losses that are just sitting above these highs? Because as these investors, as these traders are going short, they're depending on it to go shorter, to go long, to go further down. What's stopping it is the absorption of those shorts. So as these shorts are continuing to be absorbed here, these sellers are getting out of their positions. They're either taking profits and closing their positions, which is making those long positions even stronger. So I know I got a lot of drawings here, but kind of passing time as we wait and be patient. And so for me, these are levels of progression for me. So as we break this level here, grabbing this low resistance liquidity, and then we break above to this next level here, those are steps. It's like, putting your foot on the next step of the ladder. We're just climbing our way up. So our ultimate goal, these 8 a.m. highs. Kind of getting held up here on this trend line. Give me 1 second here, I'll be right back. Okay, you guys do this every day. Stop playing with each other. Because I see you hitting too, so you guys got to stop. There's no reason to cry. She didn't hurt you. You're not. Okay, just relax. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left into this 1050 macro here. We get some delivery to the upside. We're starting to see some more consolidation here on the 1 minute. So we'll see if we can get a similar effect here as we consolidate it and push to the expansion to the upside. We'll see further consolidation and maybe expansion to the upside here. All right, it's okay. So let me finish here. I'm just doing a little bit of work here. Got the grandbabies here. Had to go grab her. Sounded like World War III up there, so I had to go save the day. But everything's fine now, right? You all right? All right, just give me a little bit. We're almost finished here. Just waiting for NQ to give us a little bit of act right. So we're here. We got some consolidation, so we're looking for the expansion to the upside as we got here prior to see if we can see if we're getting this expansion move. Price has really been kicking me around today, I'll tell you that much. All right. So we getting some expansion. The upside. I really want to see us break above midnight open here. A nice break above midnight open. So in my perfect little world, I want to see expansion above this area of interest here that we've been seeing this AM session. A nice bullish bazooka candle above New York midnight open, and expansion at least to these highs here, but ideally to those 8 a.m. highs. But we're getting our step ladder, so we're above it. We got our first foothold here above this trend line here. So we want to grab this liquidity here. Let's grab this trend line liquidity, this low resistance liquidity here. So we can see it. We can see that we're getting some resistance here at our area of interest, which has been this area, this 220 area, this 220, 216 area, all this whole AM session. So after this consolidation, I'd like to see the expansion move and break above this area, which is also our first presented fair value gap, and then get into our second leg here, which is this green line, to push us up above the New York midnight open onto at least these session highs here. So I want to get above New York midnight open and into these session highs here. We're approaching VWAP here. So let's get above this. Let's get above our first presented fair value gap. And we're shooting for VWAP, which is also this interior liquidity area here. So we're getting a push. I'd like to see a little bit more speed there. We're approaching VWAP. I don't expect the VWAP to give up VWAP without a little bit of a fight, but as long as we keep pushing, we're in the fight. So this is our 15-minute range here. So we are above, the middle of our 15-minute range. We lined up pretty good for longs here as we see price tapped in, swept our 8 a.m. lows, hit our key levels, closed the gap, and almost tapped in to our golden zone here, which is a prime area for a reversal. But being as though we swept that key level, closed that gap, and started to see some buyers step in pretty strong, it could be enough to bring us up, to these London highs or even these equal highs. But all this low resistance liquidity, in my opinion, needs to get swept. Before either continuing higher or reversing to the downside, maybe to a higher time frame PD array. But I'd like to see this low resistance liquidity get swept there. We'll get rid of that. So we got past that first line. Let's get past this line here. We've seen it on these 15-minute candles. We tried it here, boom. Tried it here, boom. And this is a 1 hour inversion. So let's go to our 1 hour. Let's see. So we went up here to this 1 hour inversion, retest, came back down. We got a nice bottom wick on this 1 hour. Got about 8 minutes left on this 1 hour candle. We'll see. Should see price go up and maybe sweep these session highs before possibly reversing, coming down, because this is a order block, a bearish order block here. So we could go up into those 8 a.m. highs. I'd be totally okay with that. If we go up here and we break those session highs, and when I see price going into an order block, this is where if I'm going for shorts, this is where I mark my entry here. Right above this wick, that's liquidity. So I like to see price come up, sweep that liquidity, tap into this order block, and then come down. So we sweep these session highs, good. However, we come up, shoot past these session highs with some strength, go into these prior day highs and these 8 a.m. highs. Anything after that, I'm totally okay with that. Totally okay with that. So that's what we're looking for now. So we got about 7 minutes left. We're into this 1050 macro. We got a nice bottom wick on this 1 hour. 30-minute candle. It's forming a top wick. We need to get above VWAP here. So if we can, on this next candle, if we can open above here and continue to the upside, taking out these session highs, that would be ideal. This would be considered interior liquidity. So we have exterior, so we want to see interior to exterior. So we see this interior here and we want to go to the exterior here, or at least on the 30-minute. Mark it out where we go up here into premium, sweep these session highs, then go lower. So everything is saying that we're going to at least take these session highs out before heading lower, and that's all we're asking for. That's what we're looking for. So I do like when I see this. We got a nice inside bar here, and when price opens above that inside bar to the upside, that's usually an indication that we're going to see higher prices. I typically like to see a bigger move when that happens. But again, today there's nothing typical about today on this Monday, so we're gonna take what we can get. But I'm looking at all the positive signs here that we got. I like to focus on those positive signs, and let's turn it into a positive gain. We got about 3.5 minutes left till we see a new candle here. So as we move into this new hourly, I want to see some speed pick up to the upside, hit these targets, and that way it can go ahead and do what it wants to do ultimately. But I feel like it has to hit these targets before doing what it ultimately wants to do. Again, we're approaching this trend line here, tapping on it, knocking on its door again. So hopefully after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 multiple attempts that we can break past it, hit these 8 a.m. highs, and be done with our goal for today. So we took a few trades here on our trading view account, got wicked out. They were longs. Ultimately, I feel like we're on the right side. I just believe that the market kind of whipsawed around and tagged us out here, as you can see, with these wicks, kind of like tail smoke. You can see where price was and where it went to. So as we approach this new hourly candle, let's see if we can get some push to the upside and tap these session highs. That's our first goal. Breaking above New York Open, tap these session highs, and ultimately get into these 8 a.m. highs. So that's about 20 points from New York Open to those session highs. From where we are now, it's about 30 points. It's not too much to ask. We can get that on a hiccup. NQ can trip up the curve and give us 30 points easy. So it's not asking too much, I don't feel like. So we did break above VWAP here. I got about 40 seconds left to this new candle. I want to see it push above those session highs before the open of that new candle. That would be nice. So I don't want to see price pump up, miss our session, and then push down. Which, if we see a push down, okay, it creating a bottom wick before it continuing higher. But I just kind of want to see it break and get over with. So here we go with our new hourly candle at the 11 o'clock. So let's see which way it kind of doesn't know which way it wants to go first. Ask me, let's just go ahead and sweep that session high. Let's go ahead and sweep those session highs. You know you want to do it. So it looks like we may try to create that bottom wick on the 15-minute before going into those session highs. In this market, it's kind of like take that money and run. I am currently in a long on my Lucid account here. I'm kind of superstitious, so I don't want to pull my screen up just yet. But my entry was here at the New York Open. So I want to see it break above New York and hit those session highs. I just put my TP there at those session highs because I just don't want to be in these trades anymore. We got one win so far on that Tradeovate account. Has been suffering into some drawdown here. So I've been just playing it smooth, playing it cool and calm, and kind of keeping this trade in the background. But we are in this trade here. There's our TP there, waiting to get in there. So we are above it finally. But let me get it back over here. I want to show you guys, but I don't want to jinx myself. So after being in drawdown for forever, we're finally starting to see price push us to the upside. So let's get it up there. Let's just tap these session highs. Let's get up there and tap those session highs. Let's get up in there. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get up in there and tap those session highs. Push it. Let's push him. I closed it. I know we're gonna hit it, but I went on ahead and closed out on my TradeOvate account just because it's Monday. Price isn't really giving me everything I wanted to give me. We are going to hit those session highs. Check our P&L. We're up 262 today on a Monday, and I'll take it. So here we are, about to hit those session highs. We swept those session highs, so I'm happy. Could have held out for more. We kind of suffered through some drawdown. Looks like we may continue on up to at least those 8 a.m. highs. Because we do have a 15-minute fair value gap there. So we could see, I say it's high probability that we'll sweep at least these prior day highs into this 15-minute fair value gap. And while we're at it, also hit those 8 a.m. highs. As you can see, price is doing what it's done. You got a sweep and a pullback. And what I did here too, guys, is so on that first trade I took on my TradeOvate account, I was only in 5, but I re-entered. So that was for about 150. I re-entered at New York Open when it broke New York Open. When it broke the New York Open, I re-entered, and it immediately just, and I re-entered way back down here, guys. Look, we broke that. What was that? It was here. We broke that New York Open here. As soon as we broke it, it just came down, and I was in drawdown from 954 because I thought that 950 macro was going to deliver us to those 8 a.m. highs, especially after we broke New York Open. So I re-entered there, boom, after taking profits on the first win down here. But then it just kept us down in drawdown. Came all the way down to here. And when I re-entered double risk. So instead of 5 micros, I went in 10. So now I'm in here. I'm down here. Drawdown. I'm in drawdown. I'm in drawdown like $1,500. Drawdown. At this point, it was 954 when I entered. It's now 1024 of nothing but drawdown. From here, 955 to 1024, nothing but draw. 30 minutes of drawdown. Then we start to push it. Now, as it's pushing up, I'm still in drawdown because my entry was up here. I'm still in drawdown. So now, as we get here, when we finally push above New York Open at 11 o'clock, so almost an hour, about an hour, a little over an hour of drawdown. Of course, now I'm just ready to get out of this trade. We hit our session highs, and ultimately we hit those. We're gonna hit those 8 a.m. highs, but I'll take the 262 on the day. Along with my my sanity. And now that we've hit those session highs, those prior day highs, we're into a nice pullback. I don't doubt that we'll continue to hit that London and weekly high. There was a little bit of scarcity there with those with news reports on the war and what have you, but looks like the market isn't too fazed by that. A lot of whipsaw action here, and we're finally starting to see some price action move up. So, but be as it may, I'm not going to enter any more on the day. We're good on that account. Looking to get into the funded stage of this account. We got about $1,000 left before we hit our profit target of $3,000. Yeah, I'll take that. So we'll just go here, and before I leave, I'll give you guys a little update on our trading journal. So 3 weeks. I'm awesome. Okay, I'll take that. So where am I at here? So let's go run our Lucid 50K account there. So let's go to our calendar here. So on our calendar here, our trading calendar, these are the trades we took on our Lucid account. We have all pretty much green these days. So week 1, $690. Week 2, we're up $1,000. So we're on week 3. This is the 17th here. We'll close out our day on 262, and this kind of averages out on what we're looking at, 243, 269. So we're probably right around our average, what we do on these accounts. So we got the rest of this week, looking to close out the week here on a positive note. And so far in the profits, we got 27 trades, 22 wins, and with a profit of $17.29 so far. So we'll take it. And as you can see, I took that for a reason. We got the pullback there. I just don't want to sit through that. Of course, that's the pullback, and then we'll probably see it continue higher. But yeah, after an hour of drawdown, I don't want to sit through any more pullback. So that'll close us out for the day. I will just close out the stream on a positive note. I thank everyone for joining us, checking me out, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a happy and safe trading, and enjoy the rest of your day.